welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, Australia's juiciest, that's right, juiciest gaming podcast. I am your host for this week, Adam Ryan. I am joined by Ash Whaling.
Howdy, howdy.
Kieran Verbruge.
Hello.
And Mark Isaacson.
Wahoo!
We won't waste too much time because we've got a big show ahead. Mark is going to talk, I'm going to say for quite some time, about Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Yep.
I'm going to say that Ash probably won't talk all that long about Steel Seed. And I have been playing Rematch for preview as well, so I'll talk a little bit about kicking bowls around. But speaking of bowls, Ash, how have you been? What have you been up to?
I built the chair that I'm sitting on today. I got my last chair when I turned 30, so that was 9 years ago. I'm decrepit now, so it lasted me 9 years. It is falling to bits, and so I decided to finally get another chair. And I got a Blacklight Athena X, and you know what? I built it in about 20 minutes. It was great.
I'm a little pissed that you didn't go for the full decade. Like, you get to 9 years, you think you'd just wait for the big
brother.
1-0.
This chair has been falling apart for like a full year, and like I wanted to be like, yeah, I'll get my next one when I'm 40, and then I won't get another one because I'll be dead before I'm 50. But it's just I cannot repair it in a way that means it'll last 12 hours. Like I will legitimately, like, you know, in the cartoons when like somebody's like riding a bike and it starts falling apart, and then it's just like their arse on the ground holding handlebars. It's going to be me on the DX Racer, but like it's going to be the hydraulic piston. It's going to be like in my rectum. I can't run that risk, mate. Like after the age of 30, there's already so much stuff going on in your bum. I can't contribute to it.
Just wait till you hit 40, man. Just wait till you hit 40. I'm already there.
Ugh.
Not great.
I've got so many things to look forward to. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ash, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Where did you come upon this specific chair, and what made you buy it? Because the Blacklight Athena X makes it sound like you bought it at Pleasureland.
It makes it. It genuinely sounds like a bad Dragon product.
Yeah,
doesn't
it does.
The Blacklight Athena X self-lubricating. Like it's just.
Oh.
He was running. No, I because I live in Tasmania, I tried to find a place that wasn't going to sting me with nearly $200 worth of shipping. So I had to balance affordable shipping and or free shipping with chair doesn't suck ass. And Blacklight's got a really good track record. Apparently,
Right.
like major esports events always get Blacklight chairs, and you know
Okay.
I've watched a bunch of videos where like some 7-foot-tall ex-NFL player like legitimately jumped up and down on his chair to say it's the most solid thing he's ever owned, and I was like, I mean, I'm fat, so I can relate to the chair not breaking under heavy duress, so I'll go with that. And they had a sale over Easter, and I was like, all right, lock it in, Eddie. Nice.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
the self-lubricating Athena X Turbo Titty Jiggler Edition, very good.
Jesus.
Don't go to Bad Dragon and get it. Just look up.
And you didn't get it in
With a
pink.
Y.
You only got it in black, though. So, you know.
Do you know what? An actual true story. We won't stay on this, but I will say I was going to get the pink one. The pink
Missed
one was
opportunity.
there. I have nothing wrong with pink. Everyone's like, oh, you got a little girl. Oh, you get pink for your daughter. I'm like, no, I
Pink's
get
good.
pink because pink's a wicked color, so I love it. It was my wife who actually said, it's a bit of a piss poor pink though, isn't it? And I'm like, I looked at it, and like on the website looked okay, and they looked up actual ones. I'm like, no, you're right. It is a piss poor pink. Not a good pink, not a strong pink.
If you're going to do pink, you have to do it properly.
Poor pink, yeah.
Nah,
You
fair
got to
call.
go pink. Capital P pink, not
Hell yeah.
pastel pink.
Yeah, fair enough.
Salmon, nah.
Fair call.
Salmon.
Speaking of perfect pink, Kieran, how are you? What have you been up to the last week and a bit? 2 weeks. We took last week off.
That is the biggest compliment I've been paid in a very long time. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just plugging away. I don't think anything has changed between last time we were here and now.
I mean, last time you were talking about blueprints, and I assume that you're...
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Aren't
yeah.
we all?
Taking over.
Yeah. There are
Life has
still mysteries
changed.
unsolved there, but I'm satisfied with where I'm at in it now.
I was away for last week on holiday with my partner, having a wonderful time, and I was still thinking about blueprints. Like what I could be doing right now. Instead of being on holiday, I could be solving puzzles.
I could be drafting the garden shed right now.
Truly. Truly. Mark, tell us, how have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been all right. I've had a couple of days off this week, just trying to relax and fix a whole bunch of stupid plumbing issues in my house, which is fantastic. Love plumbing issues. Really love it.
Is that a
we're
euphemism
getting
for
there.
your ass past 40, or are you, like you actually have like true plumbing issues?
I wish it was. I wish it was.
The bum plumbing.
The bum plumbing. No, genuine plumbing issues in the house. Working through it. So minor expenses, but thankfully I can afford it now, thanks to the fact that I earn money. Apparently, I didn't know that
helps.
until recently. So there you go.
Certainly does help.
It's amazing how the whole purpose of plumbing is to make sure that wet shit is not in the wrong place, and as soon as it fails, the wet shit gets in all the wrong places, and then it just sucks. It all sucks.
There's so
it's
many
true, though,
sound
like-
bites from this podcast already. Fucking
Yeah.
hell. Jesus.
The people who just like, what are these idiots going to talk about today? And then just start like jumping through it. It's going to be like self-lubricating, bum plumbing,
wet stuff.
shit.
Wet stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the start and get context now.
You came in for Clair Obscur conversation. You came out with plumbing.
Fuck a duck. Before we jump into content, I'll give everyone a few quick seconds. Is there anything that any of us have played outside of content that we want to shine a light on? Open forum, anything from anyone.
I'll hit it rapidly just because I know that it's quick. Last time we were on the potty together, you told me to play Blueprints.
Yeah.
Adam, I said to you, I'm going away for several days. Is it a perfect game to play offline with my partner? You gave me the big old yes. Yes, very yes. After the kids would go to bed, my wife and I would sit down. We knew nothing about the game. The
Perfect.
trailer does a great job of telling you nothing, and we had no internet because we were down the coast. And we just mushed our faces into it and slowly came to realize what the game is like. And then, within a night or two, we were old hats and be like, oh, it's another red room, no. And then when I stepped outside, when I opened the garage door, I was like a kid on Christmas. I was like, there's an outside. I can draft a garden shed. And yeah. And the funniest thing is the number of times that we'd end a run, and it's like, nearly 11:30 at night. We're like, oh yeah, just one more cheeky. Yeah, just one more cheeky go, and then back in we go. So thank
Hell
you for
yeah.
ruining my life,
Ah.
basically, is what I'm trying to say. But,
You're completely welcome. I had, like I said, Key and I, over the last week, we went to New Zealand for a week because we had a bunch of time off, so fuck it, why not? Literally, we're
indeed?
sitting in our living room waiting for the Uber to arrive because airport parking is absolutely ludicrous. And we're playing Blueprints because, that's an appropriate game to play when you have a spare 5 minutes. And it's the first run where we successfully make it to the antechamber, do the puzzle in the antechamber, and make it to where you need to go next. I step into this unseen frontier. Uber arrives, have to go.
Oh,
Terrible timing.
It was actually devastating. It's made worse because I just was like, I'll put it in rest mode. As soon as we get back, step foot in the fucking door, straight back to it. There was an update while we were gone, so it went to the next day.
No.
Oh no.
the whole time you're in New Zealand, it's like, but yeah, I could be here.
I seriously, we're doing fun things, we're at Hobbiton and we're it's kayaking out on a lake, and all I can think of is what's in the fucking room. All I saw was just a slight little fraction of the room. No, well, I suppose I'll never find out. I will. I'll get back to it, but
You should have just
devastating.
invited the Uber driver to come in with you. He would have been like, oh, you guys playing Blueprints? Wicked.
Well, everyone else is, so you assume
Yeah.
that the Uber driver was.
Yeah.
Look, enough fun and games. Let's get in and talk about fun and games.
And
Mark,
Jay.
we're not
Yo.
going to make the people wait. We're not going to
Okay.
have them sit through Steel Seed and Rematch. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. You have reviewed it recently. From what I'm aware, you've played quite a bit of the game. Give us the pitch. Tell us what this is about.
I've played so much of Blueprints. Sorry, Clair Obscur. Because fucking Blueprints, I was playing it as well. Yeah. Anyway, I've played so much of Clair Obscur that I've actually restarted it on PS5. So the review copy we got, by all means, go to the website, well-play.com.au. Check out the review. It's phenomenal. But I replayed it on PS5 recently to get the trophies and that, and I'm already discovering new things. It's such a big, expansive RPG. It's the probably the best of its kind in quite a while. And that's coming from someone who's played like Persona 5 Royal, Persona 3 Reloaded, Metaphor ReFantasia last year. We don't talk about Final Fantasy 16, but it's genuinely one of the best. For whatever reason, if you've been sitting under a rock for the past couple of weeks, or you've been stuck in blueprints like most of the other people have been, Clair Obscur essentially is a French-based RPG, turn-based RPG, by Sandfall Interactive, published by Kepler Interactive, who, by the way, Bionic Bay, which is another game I've been playing recently, also by Kepler. Those guys are freaking on fire right now.
Killing it.
This is a small indie studio. A lot of reports were saying that it's more than 20 people. It absolutely is, because there's no way 20 people could have made this. But yeah, it's a very atmospheric,
Maybe it's
painterly
33.
art style. You're 33. And essentially the story is you are on this island called Lumiere. The paintress is off in the distance, and every year she awakens, changes the number on her clock, for lack of a better term, or the mural, and whoever is that age dies. They pass away, they just disappear. And every year from Lumiere, they send out an expedition, hence Expedition 33. This is the current expedition you're heading out on. Gustav is one of the members of that squad, and you're basically going out to stop the paintress. That's literally all I can tell you about the story, because if I told you anything else, I would ruin it. There's so many bits to this story. There's so many unexpected moments, twists and turns that, yeah, I literally cannot tell you anymore without spoiling it. I know, Kieran, you played a couple of hours of this, so you can kind of attest to that.
Yeah. It's a game you don't want to know. Like, that's enough. That's what you need to know going in, and you don't want to know anymore.
The common thread I've seen is everyone who reviews it says go in knowing as little as possible.
100%.
Absolutely.
I only essentially knew that as the elevator pitch, and because they explain that enough in the trailers, right? They give you kind of that setup. I've played about an hour, and already there are narrative beats that I was like, fuck, I am glad that this hasn't been spoiled for me. So it isn't even like, you know, middle of the game, late game, there'll be revelations. It kicks off very soon after.
Pretty much, yeah.
Straight away.
Like in that
Within
first
10
hour,
minutes.
you're crying, or in tears at least. I don't cry. You're in awe of a sequence that literally could have come straight, and a lot of these sequences, these scenes could have come straight from a movie. It's brutal as well. There's some brutal scenes in this. And it gets even more brutal as it goes along. But yeah, as a RPG goes, so the mechanics are relatively similar to what you would expect. It's turn-based. You have a party of 3. You take turns. You have the little meter on the left-hand side of the screen that tells you who's next. Pretty basic. Big differences, though, is, and a lot of other reviewers have mentioned this, it's like mixing different ideas from different kinds of RPGs. So if you can imagine your usual sort of Final Fantasy, where you have your magic meter, your health meters, etc. Every ability you have is based on how much AP or attack points you may have available to you, etc. Beyond just general attacking, you have, I think what a lot of people have mentioned, I never really played it, but it makes sense, for Mario and Luigi, if you ever played those games, how they have...
like the Brotherhood ones?
Yeah, they have like mini games as part of the attacks. It's kind of a similar concept. Where you're parrying and you're dodging. This is probably the 2 biggest mechanics of the entire thing. The more you can dodge you can literally dodge everything, apart from maybe 1 or 2, but there's other ways you can avoid getting hit. You're more likely to pretty much wipe the floor with any boss if you do it right. Like, it's not necessarily difficult. I probably found it easier than most RPGs. Normally, I kind of suck at them, to be honest. And it takes me a few goes to beat anything. This one, I was flying through a lot of the bosses faster than I expected. And it's because of that parry, and it's because of that dodge. So when you're dodging, it's basically almost like a rhythm experience. So there's always a tell with enemies that attack you, whether it's visually or audio. So you'll hear a ping, or you'll see like an obvious tell that they're about to strike, but it takes us that little bit of time before it comes through, and then you can dodge it. And then some attacks you can parry and counterattack. And sort of builds on that. There's bigger mechanics later on. They're more elaborate. that do even more damage and so on. And all of that ties into the Pictos, which are all these little add-ons you can get for all of your characters. They provide passive or active bonuses depending on how you go. So say, for example, you pick up one of the Pictos, which is add 2 AP per dodge. So all of a sudden you're getting extra options for attacking instead of having to wait your turn and get it just more normal 1 AP for every turn, etc.
Okay.
And it adds up from that. It's
so
very...
where do Pictos come from? Do you find them? Are they given to you? Or okay.
Some are found, some are purchased from vendors, and some are just out in the open. It rewards you in terms of exploring both the levels you're in and then the open world map, which is also explorative. It's not there is a standard map, but you can essentially explore the open area once you get to it, and you'll find other little hidden areas. There are also kind of like Dark Souls bosses in a way. Like the bosses themselves can be tricky to beat if you're not really good at the dodging mechanics and all that sort of stuff.
That's me.
That's you. You'll get it, don't worry. But there are bosses hidden away that are even more difficult to complete. I mean, I've finished the game on PC and I went through the extra content. I'll get to some of that in a minute. But there is one boss that I still haven't been able to beat. Without all the upgrades that I've got and all that sort of stuff, it just takes forever to beat it because its health bar is massive. So it's got that sort of From Software style element
attrition
to it.
level.
Yeah,
Eventually you will make a mistake, right?
Yeah. I think as a complete package for an RPG, it's probably the most enjoyable experience I've had with one in quite a while because of all of that. Like, you put it all together, you're able to create whatever strategy you want, whether it's the characters you use, the Pictos you just decide to add to them and all that sort of stuff. And they all work together in a way where one attack can help the next from another character that can also help the next character. And it can flow on. There's flow on effects for each one. If you mark one person, like you have a little X that will appear on the screen in front of them, one of the other characters might have the ability to double the amount of damage they output if they're marked. And because you know, based on the bar on the left, who's going next, you can time it just right to do all of that in succession, and you can wipe a lot of characters out in 2 or 3 hits. It's just very fluid when you get it right and when you figure it all out, and really satisfying as well. Yes.
Completely muted. So Ashley, a long-time listener. The question I have, right, like, out of, in this room, I think I'm the one person who hasn't played this at all.
Right.
Barely watched a trailer.
Yeah.
Was asked if I wanted to do the preview, looked at it and went, I don't know if I vibe with it, don't know. Who are Sandfall? Where did they come from? And how did they create this incredible thing? Is it like this kind of secret of like, yeah, no, it's a studio of about 30 people, and then you start listing like these epic names of people who've done all kinds of stuff? Or are they just
French.
incredible secret French people? Like,
kind of a mix of the two, to be fair. They are genuinely, it's genuine French. Like, there's a full French audio. There's the standard English cast had to learn French because there's some elements of that as well.
I've seen a behind the sscenes video of them teaching them how to swear properly in French, which is amazing. It's really good. Ben Starr is just like, how do I say this? Merde.
Merde.
They love that.
I love that. I love that language. I'm actually replaying the second time I'm playing it. I changed to the French audio cast, and they're really good as well. So it is worth it. But the studio itself is a combination of all pre-existing experienced developers. I don't have a list in front of me as to what they've worked on, but I guarantee there's been good stuff they've worked on. And they just all came together. I think this took about 5 years to develop. The fact that they could release a trailer for it and release it in the state that it's in, and when I reviewed it, it was pre-patched, and it was a patch that came out on launch day. Pre-patched, it was still perfect. Like, I had no problems whatsoever.
Wow.
I think a few people maybe have crashed once or twice. I think it's more based on the PC specs you had.
Yeah.
But they've since adjusted that a little bit, so it's a little lenient in terms of the specs you have now. But yeah, they've done a miraculous job on this, honestly. They did have a few secondary studios, I think, help them out with it, but for the most part, it was all made in France.
There's
all
a lot
the
of
voice
that nowadays,
recording, some of
though.
that was there as well. I could talk about it for a long, long time, but I don't want to talk about it for too long on the show. But by all means,
Sure.
read the review. And if you're still, like, I know a lot of people are still iffy on role playing and the mechanics of all of that. If you go into the settings, if you change it to story mode, you still have to go through all the battles, but they're so much easier to complete. And then you can focus on the story, which is by far and away its strongest point. This story is so well written.
How long do you reckon the game is?
It took me just under 30 hours, just following the straight
Ah,
narrative path. So from start to finish. There's roughly about 60 hours all told if you go through all the extra content, or if you go past the critical path when you're first playing and find all the little bits and pieces. So my second playthrough now is finding all that extra stuff. So it does take a long time, but it's not like Persona 5 110 hours or whatever have you.
Is it a game with a branching narrative? Like, do you go off the beaten path and do like a big story and come back to the main one? Is there choices that you make?
Not in that sense, but there is, like, if you follow the main, that 30-hour story, you will get a beginning, middle, and end. But there's a lot of other side quests that will expand upon it even further. And there's one character in that main story I think I saw once, but in the side quests show up that a lot of players probably won't even notice unless they went and found all of that extra content.
God,
Okay,
that
interesting.
is such a refreshing thing to hear of an RPG, particularly a turn-based RPG, being 30 hours and that being a fulfilling campaign and one that's worth interacting with. That just almost doesn't exist anymore / ever. Like,
No.
god damn.
You got
I
that
think
usual
being-
crop of sickos.
Yeah.
I think being that long helps because it means that they focus solely on what they wanted to achieve with the story instead of trying to filling it out with all these little side things. I don't think there's any quests. There's maybe one or two quests where it's like, you need to find this object and then give it to this character. The object's literally around the corner. It's not like very far away at all. So you don't have to spend another 10 hours finding the item and then come all the way back. You know, little things like that. It's just so well made. It's really enjoyable. It's beautiful to watch. I just purchased the soundtrack on Steam, which is something I rarely do. The soundtrack is glorious.
Oh, actually, I have heard people saying that it goes
Fucking good.
unbelievable.
It goes hard.
As soon as you hit start from the main menu, that shit kicks in immediately. It's
funny because it's one of those games where if you look at it from a distance, okay, so it's a dark, mysterious narrative, but when you're playing it, there's elements of that for sure, but there's also a lot of humor and heart to it that the trailers don't really show off at all, and it's within the soundtrack as well with some of that sort of colorful elements to it you wouldn't expect, and that would surprise me the most. It's like I was expecting this really dark, gloomy story, and then all of a sudden these characters show up that are literally out of Legend of Zelda, like Goron, like that kind of character. And it's so funny. It is genuinely funny.
Speaking of voice talent, it's probably worth mentioning as well because like people know they like Ben Stars and things like that. But huge shout out to my boy Charlie Cox, right? Literal daredevil. It's his first video game voice acting role, I think.
I think so.
And I think due to his Disney obligations, he wasn't in a position to actually advertise the game or promote his presence in it. But apparently, like I think he plays Gustav, and he is slaps like really, really good.
All of them do. Jennifer English plays Mael, I believe it is. Arguably the best role she's ever had, and she's played a lot of stuff. But this is it's one of the best roles she's had. I wouldn't be surprised if herself, maybe Charlie Cox, maybe Ben Starr, are nominated ending year for the roles they've had in this. It's that good.
Andy Serkis is in there.
Andy Serkis is in this as well. Yeah.
Is he really?
He is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't play a big part. Like they all play important roles. Every character in the story plays an important role.
Just fucking Gollum in a beret turns up.
Andy Serkis plays Kamari from Final Fantasy X in this game. If that means anything to anyone.
It pretty much is,
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Love that. It is like the game is aggressively French as well. Like Key was sitting
The
next to me
mimes.
Well, the mimes, fucking hell.
The mimes. Yep.
Key was sitting next to me as I played the opening moments of the game. Clearly, she didn't vibe with it because she was like, "You playing this for review or just like because?" Which is always, that question is
That's a
always
sign.
like, "Are you being forced to play this?"
Oh
but
wow, the
you see-
widows of video game reviewers.
Yep. You see one of the supporting characters, and she's literally in like suspenders, black pleated pants, and it's like, dude, it is, and with the cravat.
Cravat.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Just wait till you find all the extra costumes you can get for your
I was
character.
gonna say like
Oh,
the one
Jesus.
hairstyle you can unlock for like basically everyone is the French bob.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing,
Beautiful.
amazing.
Oh.
My favorite one,
Brilliant.
favorite costume is the Gustav one where he has the glasses. It literally looks like Daredevil.
Charlie
Like
Cox.
it's Daredevil glasses. I don't know if they made that deliberately or not, but it's
Oh, surely.
love it.
I love that. But no, I'm very keen to play more. I think from the first combat, I knew that the dodging and the parrying were a part of the combat, but I expected it to be kind of a tacked on thing. Like, if you want to do this, no, that shit is like weaved into the DNA of the combat,
Yep.
and it's the
It
better
is
fight.
vitally
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. It's.
Oh yeah.
impressive.
I don't think there's any part of. I don't think there's any part of it that wasn't meticulously developed.
Yeah,
I
it's
I
wild.
could barely floor it. The only thing I was a bit on was that the fact when you have your party of 3, you can't just swap in and out in a fight like you can other games like Persona 5 where you can tag out stuff like that. There's no tagging out feature, which is the one thing I was disappointed in because
Ah.
I rarely used all 5 characters. I largely had either
Ah.
3 or maybe a 4th if I needed to. But you do have a last stand, so if all 3 die, your remaining character will come in and they'll be like the last stand of Expedition 33, which is a nice touch.
Huh.
But I
I
will love like the
also-
tagged system. Yeah.
The very last thing I'll say, because I've played fuck all of the games so far, but you finish a combat encounter, and instead of just continue, it says we continue.
We continue.
Like, it's just fuck. Ah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait.
Yeah.
Like WE, not
Wait, wait,
OUI.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's so very
So
oh,
yes, continue.
Never mind,
We-
missed opportunity.
We
Fuck.
continue.
We continue. Jesus.
It just comes up and says, yes, continue.
yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those games where it just continues to surprise me. Even now, that
Wait.
I'm probably like more than 60 hours all told between PC and
Wow.
PS5 versions, and I'm still finding new stuff, and it's still amazing me. And I've probably got another 40, 50 hours to go.
Hell yeah.
Jesus.
It's
With-
it's really, really good. If you haven't read the review, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I really wanted to give it a 10,
Dirty.
but there's some minor little things, tech issues that kind of held it at bay. But that 9.5 is well deserved.
Incredible.
It
I
always,
mean,
it always sucks when you want to drop a 10, but there's always like something
Yep.
small that is so infinitesimal, but you can't ignore it. And it's
Yep.
probably going to get fixed at a patch, and then you feel like a shithead because you can't go and patch your review score.
I mean, I mentioned tech issues. I think pretty much all of them have been already patched out. They also
Yeah.
said you couldn't play it on Steam Deck, and apparently it's been patched now where it can kind of work on a Steam Deck. Because it was a very system-heavy PC game. I'm glad I've got a desktop that ran it really, really well. But if you're on console, no issues whatsoever, as far as I can see. Yeah.
there you go. Quasi 10. You love to see it.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah.
Kieran, you're already playing it. I plan on playing it after this podcast wraps. Ash, are you likely to dip a toe in once you've blueprinted yourself?
Sorry.
I regret
blew
that.
myself. Yep. I mean, the fact that you're talking about playing it makes me think that I might be able to have access to it at one point. So it's like,
You can have access to
know,
it right now, big boy. I tell you what. Woohoo, hooey.
there we go.
Blueprints me and you can take it off my hands. Oh, boy.
And just buy the soundtrack on Steam. It's like $29.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Awesome.
But,
And hopefully they
Ash,
make
Dig it. Yeah.
fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully this is the start of a big new series, because that's what I had as my prediction. Hoi, hoi, hoi. Ash, you clearly haven't been playing Clair Obscur because you've been busy playing something else for review, which would be
Yeah.
Steel Seed. I'm guessing this is another Quasi 10. Take it away, mate. Tell us about Steel Seed.
Why do you have to set the table like that? Like, you know what I get. I've spoken to you in confidence about
You
this
have,
game.
you have.
And
I'm
now
excited.
you've just completely served me. So, Okay, so let's step back from the 9.5s, a bit of the double A scene. So Steel Seed is a dark shame of mine because I also got the review up quite late, if only just because I struggled to get it finished in time because it's a big game. But enough of that. Let's talk about it. So Steel Seed is an indie game, sort of double A-ish. It's from a studio that did like a first-person sort of Myst-esque puzzle game a while ago that I think was called something of the Sun. I can't remember. I didn't do that much reading before this, but Steel Seed is a third-person action stealth game, which had a demo as part of Steam Next Fest, I think, and had a bunch of people commenting, "Hey, cool! It's Stellar Blade mixed with Arkham Knight." Yeah, I know, the faces are enough to show it off. But, like, for me, I was like, those are definitely some words. And, I mean, if you can pull something off like that, like, I mean, I like stealth mechanics. I like Arkham City. And I thought, cool, let's give it a crack. And it's a game that clearly has a ton of amazing ambition. And I really want to play the product that was envisioned in the developers' heads probably when they were brainstorming it, because what actually came out doesn't quite appeal to me because it just sort of, it's a bit aimless. For the sake of brevity, the story is simple. A young woman named Zoe is, her consciousness is downloaded courtesy of her father because some cataclysmic event is happening. Fast forward, don't know how many years, probably millions, but humanity seems to be basically wiped out, and she awakens in a lovely new robot body and is on a weird, I guess, roboticized Earth. Everything's kind of terrible. Figuring out how things work, she eventually discovers that she has a robot companion, and the entire planet is populated by other robot goons that if she sneaks up behind them and pushes the right button at the right time, she can quietly shank and kill them. All cool. And then a great glowing golden man says that you can rebuild your father if you get the 3 magical dad MacGuffins and bring his consciousness back into being.
As you do.
I mean, okay. I don't really have any beef. It's like a really basic story setup, but just sort of the way that it's delivered and the way that the beats are done, it is so formulaic and basic that like I genuinely felt like every step was just ticking a box for what it would work. Like, you need to get the 3 magical dad MacGuffins. Okay, you go to the first place. Everything seems fine. Oh no, we've encountered some kind of problem that we need to now solve. Oh, we've solved it. We've got the dad MacGuffin. Bring it back. And I mean, there's something that I absolutely loathe when it comes to game reviewers, and it's when people don't respect sort of like whatever story beat defines that environment. Like they'll just sort of flat out just go, yeah, you were dead the whole time. And it's like, really? But in Steel Seed, the entire premise of the game and the twist is so absurdly broadcast that I just don't feel any problem in saying the guy who sends you to get the dad MacGuffins betrays you. And it's so obvious. And it's one of those things that, because it's this whole idea of like Golden Man is an AI and your father was like this amazing technological scientist who wanted to save humanity, there is almost this idea of a cool little talk about like, being human and like, technically he was created by your father too, but he's like an AI construct and you are the consciousness of his daughter, but brought back in a robot body, and sort of you're technically siblings, and like there could be like a jealousy or there's none of that. There is none of that. There's none of that. None of it. So if the story does nothing to appeal to me, of course, I just lean heavily into the mechanics. And Stellar Blade meets Arkham City. Okay. So you're saying me that this could be like a third-person action game if I really want to get into the weeds, or I could be the Batman. Sure, why not? I go deep into the Batman stuff, and it is serviceable. It's actually quite interesting. It's engaging. It's fun. It's Arkham-like. You crouch, you hide, and it works. Like, don't get me wrong, the enemies aren't clever, but they're bung robots, so whatever. But like the idea of like, Zoe can immerse herself in these glitch fields that make her vanish. Effectively, she can't be seen. And then your robot companion, this little drone dude called Kobe, he can deploy glitch fields in areas. So it's like, you can drop stealth zones. So suddenly when you're in these big environments and there's like 8 or 9 dudes wandering around, and you can sort of see that like, I could knock those barrels down to crush that guy. I could deploy a stealth field here and hide in it. I could distract that dude and knock him off a ledge. I could grab Kobe and shoot that explosive barrel to blow up the guy patrolling past there. And then I can stab these 2 guys in the back. That's cool. But the way that this sort of escalates within the game is they do that cardinal sin of more plus bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if your first major stealth encounter is like 8 dudes in a fairly large room, by the end of the game, it's like 30 dudes in a city block. And I don't have the patience in me to put 40 minutes into learning, like you can see people's patrol routes and you get this and you get that. But then they start introducing enemies. They can sort of nullify the cool shit that you can do. And so, okay, let's swing the needle into the Stellar Blade category. Let's just beat the shit out of them. But you can't because the melee combat's not that good. It's this really mushy, pulpy sort of animation set where, like, you do these swings that generally feel really, like, solid and weighty, but the hit registration doesn't match up with them. And then when an enemy swings at you, the dodge window doesn't seem to align with any kind of proper visual tell. So you need to learn when you can dodge. You can't gauge it. Does that make sense to people here?
Yeah,
Like, how some games,
Yeah.
the reader, you know when the dodge is because you're like, you can feel it. Like, it's visceral. Nah. So I cheesed my way through the entire game, finished it, saw the twist coming from a mile away, finished it, cringed loudly at a particular line at the end that I think was probably the absolute underline dot point. This is the big line that'll wrap up the entire game. But the delivery of it and the situation where it comes forth, I just sort of went, no. And so I don't feel very good about it. I really want to play the Steel Seed that I bet the team saw in their heads, because the one that came together doesn't appeal to me as much. And I feel bad about that because conceptually, I really like the idea of the game. I generally think there is room for more things to rip off Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum. Go whole hog, don't give a shit, do it. I love it. And your stealth mechanics are great, Storm in a Teacup, but I personally didn't vibe with them after 8 hours. I'm sorry. How good's Clair Obscur?
Well, yeah.
I
Speaking
did-
of, no.
Yeah, no. So I generally I don't like having to do a bad review, but it's just the truth of the matter. I think people out there will pick this up cheap on a Steam sale. It's $80, which I don't. Yeah, I know. It's $80 Australian on Steam.
It's
When I was
80
reviewing it,
fucking dollars.
$80?
Yes,
Okay.
I was approaching this from the perspective of this is a really solid $40 title, but it's not a solid $80
yeah,
title,
no,
and
yeah.
that yeah.
I mean, at that point, just buy Arkham Trilogy for $20 on
Yeah.
Steam.
I know.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I haven't absolutely embarrassed myself here. I'm triple checking. I'm
Oh, it's
absolutely positive it's $80. It's not $8.
$18.
Is this an Australian? It's more than 50. I know that
More
much.
than
And that's
50,
what
right.
more than 50. And
Either
it's
way,
it's like
Jesus.
Still
Yeah.
doesn't sound like it's worth the whatever money it might
yeah.
be.
It's a shame because I think
Yeah.
all of the ingredients that they were considering were great. It's just it didn't coalesce. Didn't quite coalesce the way it is. And on a different note, there was a spider in my headset. That's why my ear was feeling itchy. Okay, cool.
Good to know. That's the end boss.
It wasn't
I
clear
think.
this
Tassie.
was an Australian gaming podcast.
Yeah.
It is now.
Yeah,
It's not.
truly.
That's not a bit. That's just normal. Yeah.
Also,
No,
just
the
the
spider-
casual nature of which Ash was like, "Oh, all right, little fella, off you fuck."
There you go. Yeah, please find somewhere else to live. That wasn't great. But anyway, yeah. Steel Seed's available on Xbox Series X and Series S. It's on PS5 and it's on Steam. If you like stealth games and you really like stealth games like Arkham City, wishlist it, get it when it's cheap. I reckon you'll probably have a ripper time, but just don't jump headfirst into a thing that's going to blow your socks off.
Ugh. Rough.
Fair enough.
What?
I know they're out there. There are those stealth weirdos who are just like, you don't want to kill 30 people in a room the size of, downtown Maya. Are you an idiot? And I'm like, yes, I am.
Incredible. What big fat score did you put on it? I'm guessing there's a 5. I know there's a 5 in it. So it's, similar to the 9.5 that Mark gave out.
It's in the
We're just
ballpark.
gonna keep equating things back to that.
Yep.
You know what? There is a 5 in it because it was 5. It's a flat
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 5.
chat sticky 5 right there. I had to triple check because it was a hard score to place.
See, that's where I was getting
In the
mixed
last
up.
hour of the game, I was like adding points and taking them off in real time. I was like, oh, they've changed the mechanics. Oh no, they put them back. Oh, they've made them worse.
Genuinely rough.
I did appreciate the review tag of Arkham Shitty.
Got me real good. Got me real good.
Nice.
Ash
Yep,
sent
yep.
it to me.
I did
'cause
like that.
He'll often send me random shit like that where it's just like, this was, what I left on the cutting room floor. I'm like, if only. And then I looked at the published review and was like, oh, fuck, no, he actually
Hell
did
yeah.
send it. Nice.
There was a dark little creature inside me, and as I wrote it, sort of went, heh, 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 heh. And I was like, oh, that's really mean.
Nah, it's vindication sometimes after putting that much time into a
Sometimes.
game that you hate. But hey, you know what? We move on. A game that...
If I-
Please, Ash.
If I felt it was unplayable, I would not have finished it.
There you go. And you finished it. You beat the big gold man. Hooray. Good for you. Pivoting slightly. Passing? Maybe. To a game that I did a little preview of recently, which is Rematch. This is the soccer game from Sloclap, which is a strange little departure from, Absolver to Sifu, I think is a fairly... a natural movement from one combat game to another. And then to follow up their combat game, they went,
this.
fuck it, we're going soccer. Which,
It's another form of combat.
yeah, so an interesting pivot, particularly when you look at the trailers and it looks, and I am guilty of this as well, I said it looks like Rocket League without the cars more than it does FIFA.
Yeah.
And if you just watch the trailers, it totally does look like that. This has more Sifu in it than you might think. It's definitely no combat. Certainly no combat. I think that would be a really cool little wrinkle.
Have you tried to kick the shit out of someone else?
I've
on the-
tried so
Just run
hard,
straight into the
particularly
keeper. Yeah.
when playing as the goalie. I've tried real fucking hard to biff people, but it just won't happen. But it's so similar to where Sifu lays out a really very tight set of mechanics and challenges you to perfect them to be able to progress through the game. Essentially, Rematch does the same, but in a competitive sports setting. So it's not, I suppose, like Rocket League where you can just jump in and flip your car around, whip-you-do, have a great time. It's a little bit more deliberate than that, I would say. Similar in the sense that there's no stats, there's no my team bullshit. It is just, here is your set of mechanics, may the best team win. But it's very directed towards skill-based play. So instead of like FIFA, where it's two people playing against each other because, you're playing as Barcelona QB and I'm playing as Hobart FT or whatever the fuck, I don't know.
Quick,
soccer.
think of another soccer team.
You're
Do
playing
you need
as
advice?
you're playing as fuck it. You're playing as individual players. So each person is their own singular player. You're running around the field. You have to play as part of the larger machine, which is your team. So you can have Ash Whaling. Hello.
Are you telling me that everyone on your team is a different person?
Absolutely everyone. So it's 3v3, 4v4, or 5v5. Those are very, very different games depending on how many people are on the pitch at the same time. And it's all direction based. So where your character is facing is where you are going to kick the ball. So positioning is really important. You can bounce the ball off the walls, off the... like it's got like a backboard, so if you miss the goal and the goalie doesn't grab it, it'll just bounce back at you, which is a viable strategy. People can call out for the ball. You can do tricks to kind of dodge people, that sort of thing. That's essentially it, though. Like, here are your core mechanics. Get really good at them, or you are going to get absolutely fucking trounced, which, during my preview time, I did quite a lot of. Thankfully, though, if you are down more than 4 goals, they'll instantly just award that team the win. It's essentially like first first to more than 4 points differential
Mercy
wins.
kill.
I am A-okay with that. It saves the Rocket League thing of you're like
Yeah.
17 goals to none. No one's having a good time there, right? If it's skill-based, the better team wins, and that's just it. Ash Whaling.
Is there voice chat or text chat? Like, does the left winger say, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiot"?
There is
and,
text chat.
Things like that.
Yep, and you can have voice chat as well, so have fun with that. Fun fact, my friends and I had fun doxing each other in Rocket League back in the day. That was a wonderful time.
What?
There are still people that have my full name, address, phone number, and email, so that's
Wow. All right.
how good is the internet?
How's my driving? Let me know.
The other couple things to point out, there is like a meter that you can spend to kind of overextend yourself. You can run a little bit quicker to try and get to the ball, or once you have the ball, you can run it forward. It does make you a bit more susceptible to interception and things like that. The other really cool thing is there's always a designated goalie, but if they run out of the goals, someone else can run into the goals and they switch to the goalie. Because there are
I've
different...
seen that.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
fucking incredible because I really
That's
liked being
really
the goalie,
cool.
and seemingly no one else does because you can't score as them. So they would run out, and I'd just be like, "My guy, let me jump in there." So as soon as you get to an open goal, you do the whole big hands deal, and you can do leaps to the left and the right, and all of those wonderful things. So that's a nice little touch. So if you have some dickhead that desperately wants to score, let them go do it. You can have someone
Do you
better in your
think-
goals.
Do you think real soccer would be more appealing if that was also a thing that you could do?
That's a thing.
Absolutely. So I don't
Maybe.
watch soccer. I'm a hockey fan, but I still think that if you're going to have an extra person on the ice, you should always have your goalie. So they're in like massive amounts of gear, but fuck it, get them in there. But yeah, essentially Rematch lets you do that.
That'd be great. I think that's a great mechanic. That sounds incredible.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
well
said
good.
so it's 3v3, 4v4, or 5v5.
Correct.
Do you queue into those particular matchups
Yes.
because that's what you want, or is it a
Yep.
case of like we can only find 3 people if you're doing 3v3?
No, you queue
Okay.
into those specific instances. There is also a ranked mode that I went absolutely fucking nowhere near because I don't need that question answered.
Oh no.
Nah, but it is very much like 3v3 is completely about possession. Like as soon as you give away possession, you are 9/10 of the way fucked. 4v4 is a nice meet in the middle. 5v5 is pretty chaotic. Mark.
I just wanted to point out, because my question was going to be, do you reckon this is going to be like Rocket League microtransaction heavy in the future? Because the Seafood Studio is also French, and the first thing I had in my head was crossover with Clair Obscur, the goalkeeper's the mime. Just have the mime as a goalkeeper. It's perfect. Why wouldn't you do that?
Oh, I like that.
But yeah,
Great deal.
is it going to be microtransaction sort of things, or do you think it's going to have longevity elsewhere?
See, this is where things might fall apart somewhat. There will be microtransactions. Yes, there will be all of that wonderful stuff. It is a paid game. It is $30.
Oh,
So,
okay.
It's
That's cheaper than Steel Seed.
See, we all think that's fine. I don't know whether the wider public will. Rocket League is now free to play. Fortnite free to play. All that bullshit. Everyone wants multiplayer games to be free to play these days, which is unfortunate but true. I'll be 100% honest with you. After playing one game, I was like, I don't like soccer. I'm not coming back to this. 5, 6, 7 games deep, I probably will. Purely based on that skill level thing of master the mechanics to make sure that you have any chance of winning. It just tickles that part of my brain that wants to get better and succeed. So, yeah,
Okay.
we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'll come back to it. But if you're a soccer fan, this is something completely different from FIFA or EA Sports FC or whatever the fuck it's called these days. But it's a completely different experience. So if you're into soccer, very much would recommend you at least give it a little bit of a go.
What
Yeah.
a random game for the studio to make, but I do hope that's a success.
Truly, I thought it was super bizarre until I realized there was some sort of core DNA that they both share. But it is weird. I also like that developers can just be like, fuck it, we don't have to continue on with what we were doing before. We're just going to make what we like. So there is a part of me that thinks that's pretty cool.
Do you feel it's a wasted opportunity that they didn't make, Shaolin Soccer? The game?
Yes. Yes. I think Kung Fu Kickball was a game that could have been cool but wasn't. And I think
Yeah.
that the Sifu devs very much could have made it a cool sounding game that is actually good.
Oh,
Surely they thought of that. Surely.
You would think so. Who knows? They could patch it in. They did a whole
Yeah, I
was gonna
shitload of
say-
extra content for Sifu, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
be overly surprised if they just were
The
like...
11th hour, they're like, we gotta pull the kung fu out of it, guys. I'm sorry.
I think if they just
I know
put
it's
like,
fun.
here you go, here's, prison soccer, have fun,
Well,
it'd be great.
It's like that hockey game that was on the Nintendo 64, and there was like a mode that just meant that like you just get into a fight literally every second of the game, and it was like,
Yeah.
what, your mum couldn't afford Mortal Kombat? It was like, no. So you just play hockey and kick the shit out of each other.
Fingers very much crossed. But yeah, hear back about this one when we do the review later in the year. Shout outs, there
where's it
are exactly one of. I fucking just closed the tab, Ash, you absolute
Yeah,
prick.
well, journalism isn't pretty, Adam. This is what it looks like.
Fucking jerk.
Do you want me to do it? I've got it.
Yeah,
Hey,
if
well,
you
there you
can...
Defer.
19th of... Hang on. 19th of
What
June,
are you on
so
about?
it's just around the corner.
19th of June. All right, cool.
Yeah,
What
the
do we
way
reckon
this year
we'll-
is going, it'll be out tomorrow.
Do you reckon it's going to sneak on a Game Pass or PS Plus or something like that reasonably?
I think if it
earliest,
did
maybe?
on PlayStation Plus, similar to how Rocket League did back in the day, I think it
Yeah.
would do fucking gangbusters. Honestly, I think
Yeah,
it
it
would do
definitely
really
looks like a
good.
game that, like,
Yeah.
if it was on PlayStation Plus, I'd play it, and I don't
Yeah,
touch.
I'm
sports
surprised it
games.
isn't. Yeah.
Like $30 isn't much, but it sounds like the kind of game that I want to give it a squirt and see if I like
Yeah.
it first.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think Game Pass, multiplayer games in Game Pass, I think, are weird because it can be lost in the shuffle, and it's got there's a whole lot of other real estate for your
Yeah.
attention. PlayStation Plus, it's one of 3 games. You have 2 single player games, and then this is the headline for multiplayer. I think it'd do really well, honestly.
Side
good
note,
point.
can we just cut the audio of Ashton when he said, I give it a squirt and use that as a review
Absolutely.
thing for the future? Please.
Jordan?
Jordan, if you get onto that, please. Thank you.
Send me the audio file, thank you. Please and thank you.
Give it a squirt.
Great.
We only have one shout out for the week, that being our wonderful European leader, which would be Zach. He reviewed Slender Threads, giving it an 8.5, saying Slender Threads is a point and click adventure with an abundance of visual spunk. There you go, Ash. And entertaining characters that knows how to respect your time and reaps the rewards as a result. He loves a fucking point and click, doesn't he?
Oh, brother.
Did he really write Visual Spunk? Oh, he did.
He did.
He
He
did.
did.
I
He
was
did.
Why not?
mid-sip. That's diabolical.
I know. Yeah. I mean, blame Zach. Blame Zach. What can I say? What can I say?
Zach Jackson, lover of visual spunk. Anyway, moving
Yeah.
on.
Isn't he just? Do you think he's... Nah, never mind. You know what? Never mind. don't stress. We'll move into the news. We don't have a jingle. We don't have a James this week, but that is A-okay. Let's, speaking of spunk, get the shit stuff out of the way. EA
This
has recently laid off, according to a Bloomberg article, somewhere between 300 and 400 jobs, which is just diabolical. 100
Yep.
of which have come from Respawn Entertainment, who, I mean, they have an evergreen product of Apex Legends and an absolute cash cow of a Star Wars Jedi franchise, but apparently
Yep.
not enough money to go around to keep them about. Apparently, they confirmed themselves that they killed off 2 incubation projects. Schreier said that one of them was codenamed R7, which was a Titanfall, and say it with me, kids, extraction shooter.
Shooter.
Who
Yeah.
could think that might be a poor decision?
Never
According
been dodged a
to...
bullet on that one.
Yeah, look, probably, but fuck. According to, so this is from the statement, we made the decision to step away from 2 early stage incubation products and make some targeted team adjustments across Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi. You love
that means.
to have your teams adjusted and for you to be adjusted
How?
right out of a job.
Is there
Yep.
like a workshop of people that just find new and exciting ways to say people got shit canned?
Yes.
It's
so
It's
prior to...
right-clicking the
restructuring.
thesaurus and hoping they find something appropriate.
Yeah.
it's restructuring. It's targeted team adjustments. It's course corrections.
yeah.
It's just
Right sizing. That's one of my
oh,
favorites.
that was
Right-sizing.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heinous.
Yeah.
And
Not
yeah,
cool.
The
I...
industry is deeply sick.
I love that it's always and it's said here there's Justin Higgs, who is a representative of EA, as part of our continued focus on our long-term strategic priorities and, more fluff. We've made select changes within our organization that more effectively align teams and allocate resources in service of driving future growth. I think that's the really important part to nail down here. Exponential growth is just a ridiculous rainbow to chase. And I think it just doesn't make any sense for any industry, particularly the entertainment industry that changes and there's ebbs and flows all the time. And chasing exponential growth is a sickness that the gaming industry is afflicted by, and it's a fucking shame. It's a real fucking shame. But hey, we get so used to talking about layoffs, it just feels like another one, which is probably even more of a shame.
We're so used to talking about layoffs, but we're also constantly talking about cancelled Titanfall games.
Yeah.
Also
They seem
true.
to go hand in hand. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, also true. I fear that it would be a bring Morbius back to theaters situation where we finally get one and then it doesn't sell well. But I don't know. You can only...
we were busy that weekend. Bring it back.
Jesus. Like meme culture that I actually enjoy. Anyway, let's talk about better things
Yes, please.
than Titanfall. Ooh, might be controversial.
Okay, maybe not that much, yeah.
Mark, tell us about some wonderful Returnal news.
Yeah, so randomly we got a PS5 Pro patch for Returnal for its 4-year anniversary, which is just this week. What we do know at the moment is that it's 2.5 times, whatever that means, the pixel density. So when you're running on PS5 Pro, it's going to look better than what it originally did on the base
Better?
PS5.
That's a
It's gonna look
teraflops thing, isn't it?
Better.
Right?
Well, I don't know. Maybe
It's made up
I haven't
numbers.
tried it yet. I'm going to re-download Returnal and give it a shot.
Returnal
Because
looked
when I played it, I
exceptional.
didn't finish it. But I don't know what else. No one else is. I haven't seen anything Digital Foundry. What else the patch does? But you'd expect
think
there's something
that's-
else in there.
I think that's literally it. Like, I'm assuming it's PSSR that is
Yeah,
the difference.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I downloaded. Well, I had it re-downloaded, but I did the update last night and I fired it up just to like walk around a bit, and it does look incredibly
Even
sharp.
sexier.
Like,
It didn't look
it's-
bad in first place, so I
That's
no,
what
it
I
never
like.
looked bad.
Yeah.
I got 2 PS5 sold purely off saying to my mates, "Look at this game."
Yeah.
Like the actual, the graphical feature set is the same. It's just like razor sharp, and and that really kind of pulls out a lot of details that you wouldn't see before. So I feel like it's worth a look in if you have the game already.
In other news, I've ordered a PS5 Pro just between you starting and ending that sentence.
One of us. One of us.
You love to see it. If anything, this should be a PSA to either play Returnal for the first time, and if you haven't, or if you have played it, re-download it. There's probably more content
yeah.
in it than last time you played it, because
I haven't
they
played
just-
this as a co-op game yet, so I'm down.
Yeah,
the co-op is so
the same.
good. Kieran and I will
Yeah.
play with you. I'll tell you that. And the Tower of Sisyphus fucking slaps nuts. That is such
That's-
a great mode, man. I tell you what.
And you've got to get your licks in before Housemarque drops their next title,
Oh,
because it's
Yep.
coming.
Saros,
Next year.
I
Saros.
could not be more excited. Honestly,
Also known as Rahul
Jesus.
Kohli Simulator.
How good
Oh,
is Raoul, just in general?
Oh, he's good.
What a
Man, he is
Mate,
good, yeah.
fucking
He's
what a dude.
He's the voice of one of my favorite Space Marines. I love that guy.
And he's a Liverpool supporter, so I'm down with him. Yeah.
Yeah, soccer, kick the ball. Fuck yeah. Moving on to Nintendo Switch news.
Ah,
They've killed Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong erasure.
Ash,
They gave him a
give us
facelift. They gave him a facelift.
give us the skinny on the Nintendo Switch change of history.
Sure. So Nintendo Switch has had a bit of an update that sort of like is, I guess, modernizing it for what would be the modern framework of like the Switch 2. There was a shop facelift, things like that. They added some system features that will allow you to easily migrate your Switch details from one console to the next. Don't do it till you have a Switch 2. Some people miss the fact that this is a migration procedure, not a backup procedure, you silly gooses. But the one that's got people the conjecture, the fun water cooler chat is the fact that they've updated all of the standard Switch icons. Like, the beautiful characters you could pick as your profile picture and stuff like that. they've been updated. And though 99% of them are just like basically the same, they're just, slightly higher fidelity or better lighting, they have replaced old Donkey Kong with finger quote new Donkey Kong. Now, there's people who are passionate about this. I couldn't really give a shit because I just think he looks great either way. But it is funny seeing the online discussions of Donkey Kong erasure is happening right in front of my eyes. I think the most important takeaway from all of this is the fact that Luigi went from not really smiling to openly grinning.
Right? He's finally happy, the boy.
Also, the
Hell
one thing
yeah.
I
Yeah.
noticed is that it looks like Peach has got a tan now as well. Like she doesn't look as
Oh,
pale
really?
as it
Oh,
goes.
she
Yeah.
does too.
That's the one that caught out to me. So
She
there you
spent
go.
some time outside.
Make of that what you will.
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck about the Donkey Kong thing. I think his new,
Good. Yeah.
I think like his updated version looks.
They both
good.
look great.
It's the other the other details, like you wonder why they paid people to do this shit. Like the lighting on the power mushroom is slightly different.
Oh, yeah.
It's like someone had to go in and do that. That was someone's job.
Just
yeah.
move the little cursor to the right.
Yoshi's
So,
turned his body slightly, so there's less of his arm in frame now.
like,
One
okay.
of the
More
pigment
gets-
isn't quite face down anymore. He's off to the side a little bit.
Like, I'm
But
glad
hey,
people are getting paid, hey?
Look, graphic designers are people too. AI is going to kill them all one day, but for now, they're taking every job they can get. Look, Nana
Bizarre.
Mario didn't call Luigi Green Mario for Christmas, and so he's happy now. This year's going to be his year.
Jesus Christ. Another quick few. Lost Soul Aside has been delayed, but we don't have to wait too long. It's only August 29th that this one got delayed to, so no need to cry. And Mark, you popped in about Ludo Naracon?
Ludo.
Ludo Naracon. It's this weekend,
Ludo.
which is pretty much when this podcast drops. They run it every year. It's by Fellow Traveler, an indie studio, indie publisher. There's going to be a whole bunch of indie games on show. There's going to be a whole bunch of panels. It's all on Steam.
Oh,
And
my
I believe
lord.
it's also going to be live streamed. Sam Lake is going to drop by for a fireside chat,
What a babe.
probably about FTC Firebreak, which is coming out soon.
Yeah.
And Citizen Sleeper 2 is going to have a live stream. And apparently they're going to be dropping some tidbits, some news about that. Maybe DLC? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Definitely
Is
check
it
it out. It's
profitable?
this weekend, May 1st to May 5th on Steam.
Maybe the DLC will make it profitable.
Wait, it is now.
I mean, it is, I
Is it?
believe.
it is.
It's the headline.
Yeah. It's ticked over to being profitable. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Finally.
Deservedly so. Like, if it
Fuck, oh
wasn't
my
for
God.
Clair Obscur, Citizen Sleeper 2 is my game of the year. Just
Hell
saying.
yeah. Correct
What a time.
opinion.
Uh-huh.
What a time. Speaking of indie darlings, the last bit of news that we have, and I want to get a bit of a round table thought on this one. This morning there was a PlayStation State of Play, squarely focused on Borderlands 4 and Randy Pitchford's just general wetness. But yeah, mainly Borderlands 4.
His plumbing's all off. The wet's in the wrong place.
Yes. Oh,
Go back.
I know a plumber.
Go
I know.
back!
actually fantastic. Have we all watched the State of Play or watched some of the gameplay? Kieran, I imagine you're avoiding this. Like,
I
watched it twice to do the article.
oh, bold.
I played so much Borderlands 1 and 2. Like, just incredible amounts.
Oh.
I could not care less about this game.
Yeah.
And so I haven't watched any of it yet. And I'm relying on you folks to tell me if it's any different or if it's just Borderlands 3 again.
It's just Borderlands 3 again, as far as I can tell.
I'd wager
I don't know if it's anything new.
I'd wager it's maybe more similar to Borderlands 1 and 2 than to 3 in some of the ways that matter, I think, on a very brief glance, but it definitely is more Borderlands. Ash, if
It's
you have any other
Borderlands.
thoughts. Hey, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I know. So let's talk about Borderlands.
Oh,
Kieran, absolutely spot on. Borderlands 1, kind of an uncut gem. You can tell it was a salvage project that worked out. Borderlands 2, iterative sequel, polish it up, very nice, very good.
Great.
Borderlands 3, we are high off the scent of our own farts and can do no wrong. Oh, yeah. Memes. Oh, shit. For me, Borderlands 3 was a title that was mechanically competent. Like, I think that it did good with active skills. I think the gunplay was decent. Looting and shooting was fine. The story was just wet farts. The whole thing was like a meme. And so my relationship with the Borderlands series was a case of, if they can get the storytelling back on track and just get off the TikTok trending window for a half a second, I'll be on board. Within the first, 10% of this 20-minute long state of play, old Duval Magic himself, Randy Pitchford the Magician, said, we are getting back to our grounded, more serious storytelling. I'm like, oh, thank Christ. Like, they've led with the thing that people needed. As far as the game itself, I think the state of play was great because it was just all gas, no brakes. It was like, hey, here's the game moving, here's the game working, here's what you can do in the game, here's some of the stuff that happens in the game. Yes, Randy was in it because he has to be, but 90% of the stuff presented was from developers. Awesome. Very nice. And, I mean, for the most part, it's Borderlands, but with some more cool movement options. There's like a hover ability now that looks pretty cool, like a mini jetpack kind of thing. You get like your own summonable sparrow from Destiny to get around. They've addressed that, the rare guns were getting a bit silly. Like, legendaries meant nothing because you got 2 every 10 minutes. So they've said, hey, we're going to make them legendary again. They'll be less, but they'll be better. And they've said, hey, you guys like the skill trees, but you don't like having to go from the top of the skill tree through 30 boring things to get to the really cool things. So, hey, we've shuffled how that works so you can get cool shit sooner. If you like the Borderlands formula, but felt that it went off the rails in 3 because it just started to get a bit up itself and silly, I think this is the course correction people want.
I will say, early doors, they talked a lot about some of the writing talent they had on board for this, and I was very excited about that. So
yeah, it was clearly a case of they just need people to realize that it doesn't have to be the most earth-shattering story ever, but it has to be competent and it has to be something that you want to engage with. If it's meme, reference, meme, reference, meme, haha, my gun's called Hawk Tour, it's a skibbity toilet boss. There's no longevity. There's none whatsoever. You will get your Game Rant article, top 10 hilarious internet memes in Borderlands 4, but then it's just gone tomorrow. It's completely gone. So
Did anyone...
I think my only... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go for it, Mark. Go for it.
And I was just going to say, I think my only gripe with it is that even if they made a Oscar-winning story, I still don't think I'd be interested because it's still just more Borderlands.
It's true. I mean, I'm one of those people that actually I like the concept of the world of Borderlands. I love a universe where the heroes, not necessarily bastards, but they are just losers. Like, they're not, superheroes. They're like random dickhead who gets really mad and punches things hard. And in this game, it's legitimately, ex-TDO scientist who stole the only prototype of a living suit that can manifest guns. But he's still just a guy.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
He's a dude.
Yeah,
doing things.
So, I don't want award-winning. I don't need Schindler's List in Borderlands, and I wouldn't want Randy Pitchford anywhere near such a thing. But
Yes, please. Thank you.
I want a story that, I might say to my mates, hey, wasn't this a cool moment? Instead of, haha, my gun's called Hawk 2A. Amazing.
Don't give Randy
surely
ideas.
they're still going to have that shit in it, though.
I think it'll still have bits and pieces, but...
The reason I specifically bring up Hawk Tour is that one of the writers made the mistake of engaging with fans on social media and said, I'm making my life's mission to make sure no stupid shit like that is in the game.
Yeah, I think they said, if that kind of shit gets into the game, that I'll put my hand down, the garbage disposal or something to that effect.
Yeah. And, let's be real. I like a reference. I don't mind a reference. I like a joke. I don't mind that kind of thing. I mean, there was jokes in, Borderlands 1 and 2 that were actually quite funny. I think there's, it's one of the things of, you open a toilet to loot it, and, sometimes a skull pops out. You're like, what the hell happened here? But then, there's genuine, reference to things, and they're okay. But if that is the mortar holding your bricks together, your house of memes will come crumbling down.
Did anyone play Tiny Tina's Wonderlands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I a little
played a
bit.
bit.
Yeah.
Played a
I
bit.
think that to me, there was some course correction there from Borderlands 3 already. It still had some ways to go, but even from a narrative front was surprising in the kind of... It was obviously kind of batshit crazy, you know, it's all in Tina's imagination, but it was quite raw as well at the same time, so...
Yeah,
I don't know. It gives me hope that they at least understood that Borderlands 3 was kind of just too much of the thought process of just more is better. So
Tiny
hopefully.
Tina's had humor that wasn't looks down barrel of camera and, you know,
Yes.
says, ain't nobody got time for that. And then, you know, remember that, kids? Move on. Yeah.
Agreed. It
I-
gives me hope.
I still think I'm happy to move on from our franchise at this point, but you know, each
That's
to their
yeah.
own.
Yeah.
Show me another looter shooter that isn't Destiny that I can spend time with.
Give me
and
more
not-
Clair Obscur. More French video
Not-
games.
Give me Clair Obscur, but it's a looter shooter with Charlie Cox playing Tiny Tina.
Hell, I'll
We
take
need-
a baguette platform game. I'll do whatever.
We need a Clair Obscur extraction shooter as well.
Oh,
we
God,
really
shut
need.
up.
That's what we need.
And yet,
Ah.
look.
There's sirens and red lights flashing at EA right now, where they're just like, we've just picked up an idea off the internet. Our secret spies and Discords are paying off.
It needs to be French.
You know what? We've talked too much about looter shooters. We've talked too much about video games. Let's move on to our off topics. But first, the 2000s happened. Do we remember them? There were films during that time.
What?
We need a 2000s film of the week. I forgot to designate that to one of you fine fellas, so I've gone ahead.
I've got one. I've
You've
got
got
one
one.
as well. Yeah,
Well,
you go
let
first
me-
and I'll do one.
Le-
I
have
got
two?
one too.
Holy
So-
shit.
Oh, we all have one. All right.
Ash, what you
I'll
need to
save mine.
do...
It's
What
fine.
you need to do for me is very quickly find one, because... let me tell you, boys, we're each having one. While
And then we
Zach's
rank
away...
them from first to last.
While Zach's away, he's left us in the driver's seat, so don't leave the
What would be
keys in
great
the
if we all picked the same one?
Yep.
Fuck, it would be amazing. Let me kick it off for you. This film came out in 2009.
Ooh.
A government agent responsible for relocating an alien species living in the slums of Johannesburg ends up becoming a
Kieran.
target of a nationwide manhunt
Kieran.
after a small mishap.
Kieran.
Ash, I think you were Kieran.
Let's say
I
it
mean,
at
we're
the
gonna
same
say the
time
same
after
thing.
3. 1, 2, 3.
District
District 9.
8.
Oh, fuck. That was a shit show. Yes, it is District
Expedition
9.
33. Sorry, am I right? No.
Hell yeah.
Great film. Enjoy it a lot. Really awful
Oh, yeah.
visuals. Like, it's just very uncomfortable visuals in that film.
The
but-
fingernails.
Yep, awful. Just like
Yeah.
bored
Yeah.
into my
That's stuck
fucking
with me.
skull.
100%.
And it holds up though. Like story wise, it holds up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think even visually it holds up because, like, you got to think about that's 2000s CGI and it's still
Yeah.
very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
But,
I
like,
plan on going
story-wise, story-wise, it's just an evergreen
oh
concept.
Yeah.
Because it's
Unfortunately.
presented as a folk documentary.
Yeah.
You could
Yep.
show it to your Alzheimer's-ridden grandmother, and she'd probably go, "Oh shit, I didn't know that was happening in Johannesburg." You're like, "Oh,
I've
now
been
it's out." And she's like, "Fucking prawns, Hannah, no."
You're better than this. Mark, hit us with
All right.
your 2000s film of the week.
Mine is from 2008. 12-year-old Oscar dreams of seeking revenge on his bullies. He is surprised to get help from Ellie, a strange girl whom he secretly loves, but he is unaware that she is a vampire.
Oh, what the fuck? That took a
Now-
very left turn at the end there.
If you don't know this one, it was remade in the US a couple of years later. And it's based on a book. And it's not French, but
remade.
it is European.
It sounds like
Genuinely.
the kind of movie I would have watched. Yeah.
Who is the target audience? Is it children or adults?
No, definitely not children. Definitely not children.
Okay.
Definitely not children.
Can we...
Is this the first time we've been stumped on their podcast? I don't know. I can't remember.
Because I feel like we're a little bit lost, can we have
Right.
An actor?
Somebody who
Can you have an actor? You won't know them because they're all Swedish.
All right,
Oh.
Zach.
That's a clue. That's a clue.
Swedish.
Swedish vampire movies?
Swedish vampire movie. Give up?
I've got.
I'm going to suck your blood.
That's what it should have been called.
Holy shit, that was good.
No,
Now I'm
it's-
lost.
I'm just
It is
imagining
called
Swedish chef now.
Let the Right One In.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I've
Which
heard the
is
title of the
That's a
film.
good shout.
Yeah, it's
That
a
is a good
phenomenal movie,
shout.
but it is Swedish. I don't think any of the actors went on to do anything else. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it was remade.
It's because they used real
Couple years
vampires
later.
on set, so like
Yeah, no Swedish chef
Authenticity
cameo,
through the roof, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can find it, I think it might be on. I don't know if it's any on the streaming service except for Stan. I think.
It's on the Swedish Netflix. Nerdflix.
Yeah, no, definitely hunt it down if you can. I love
Our
it. It's one of my
Swedish
favorites.
audience is furious.
It's basically a
Absolutely
horror
furious.
romance.
One
by the way,
dude, he's
so.
just sitting there over like a hot plate of steaming meatballs. He's like, well, fuck these guys.
Nerdflix. It's actually on HBO Mercs.
Oh,
Ah, Jesus. How does that
Anyway,
not get
moving
old?
on.
Sorry,
Ah,
Sweden.
Fuck's sake. Kieran, yours better not be Swedish as well. Hit us.
No, it's this one is from 2005.
uh-huh.
In this film, Will lives with his superhero parents in Maxville. He is anxious about attending his parents' alma mater, Sky. Oh, well, I just almost said the whole.
I know what it is.
I know what it is.
Just go.
Is it Sky High?
It's Sky.
Sky High.
I'm like reading out the name of the school.
This is Chicken Run all over again, where I can't say farm and I can't say chicken, so it's going to be individuals in a facility. Well,
Makes
That
it all up.
is
That's why I chose a film you wouldn't get. It's so much.
And
fun.
they-
Oh, fuck, that is
an eccentric scientist creates Jurassic Park.
oh god,
Catch.
like,
It's actually
you-
Jurassic Park 2.
you know, they got the game where it's like describe something badly, but it's describe something accurately and wonder why the game doesn't work.
Hey,
That
look,
is-
there's another potential thing for the podcast in the future. Just, how badly can you describe a video game and see if anyone actually gets it?
I like that.
There you go.
I also
Zach would
like.
be good.
Zach loves a bad video game, so he'll love that idea. I also love. I love Bruce
Guess all
Campbell
of
in
them.
this film in Sky High.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Well,
that's-
Sidekick.
What
Such
a
a good
wonderful
film.
piece of shit.
I love
Ash
that.
Whaling.
Set in a high school called Sky High, by the way.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. Fuck.
In case people miss it, if you look it up.
If you-
I
yeah,
somehow
you
missed
missed it, yeah.
that.
Whoops.
I've got mine. Okay.
All right.
And I was surprised by its rating because I didn't realize this. But a Chinese man travels to the western frontier after a princess is kidnapped. There, he's forced to team up with an unlikely train robber, and the unlikely duo takes on a Chinese traitor and his corrupt boss.
Is that a Jackie Chan film, perchance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll see if the other guys get it.
May I see it? No.
I
I can visualize it, but I can't get the name.
Can you give me a co-star?
Can I give
There's
you a
two.
co-star?
Two very specific. Like you've
No,
named
because I
Jackie
think if I
Chan.
get the co-star wrong, it won't be good.
You say Wild Wild West because it's not.
It's not Wild Wild West.
Will
It's
Smith.
not Wild Wild West. What a movie!
What a movie.
Wild Wild West.
Says a Chinese man travels to the western frontier to rescue a princess who has been kidnapped.
It's also not Rush Hour, in case you guys were wondering.
No.
No, yeah, it's not that.
And it's not Shrek.
It's
the
not. It's
co-star.
not. It's not Rush Hour, but the title still has a time reference in it.
Kind of.
Amazing.
Does it have the word minute in it?
No.
No. Do you want the co-star? I know who the co-star.
No,
is,
we got to
because
get
you-
some kind of input from Adam before we continue. We
Alright,
have
cool,
a
cool, cool.
question.
I've
from
Adam,
got-
say
Toby.
something.
You
I've got fuck
We're
all.
floundering.
I know what it is. I know.
I am.
like, I get that you're young, but surely you were old enough to be watching movies at this time.
This was in black and white, right? This is like
No. God, no.
Oh, yeah, the co-star's Buster Keaton, you know.
Charlie Chaplin just walks on in.
Do you want, okay,
Starts
so
having a fight.
how about okay, the co-star is Owen Wilson. Wow.
I've still
No.
got nothing. Is it
Slow head shake?
painfully obvious? And I
A little bit. No? Do we want to reveal? Well, let's
Yeah,
throw to
hit me.
Mark, because Mark's already got the
Yeah,
hard
I
guess.
knew
So
it. It's a lovely Western action movie called Shanghai Noon.
Shanghai Noon.
That had a sequel called Shanghai Nights, and it nearly
Yeah.
affected a sequel
Yes.
that had Donnie Yen in it.
oh, it did too.
It did.
Yes.
what a dude.
Jackie
Yeah.
Chan and Owen Wilson had a vaguely racist team up
It
where
did.
like Owen Will.
It
yeah.
kind of worked. Not as good
It
as Chris Tucker, but it kind of worked.
No, but it's still that formula.
Yeah.
Let's culture shock
Jesus.
Jackie Chan with a random popular American actor. Give it a 2-word name that has a time reference in it.
Jesus Christ. Well, look at us. Round table 2000s films of the week. So
Nice.
good. Before we call it an
couldn't have gone
evening,
better.
do we have any off topics? Is there anything that I know, Ash Whaling, you have seen something as of the last couple weeks.
As of last night, I've gone to see Thunderbolts in cinema.
Oh, okay. What'd you think?
As somebody who saw Captain America and thought, hey, if this is a course correction, that's better, I guess. I walked out of Thunderbolts going, shit, I need to find somebody to go see that with again.
Oh, okay.
Again.
I'm in. I was already
Um,
in, but I'm in.
I don't need to talk about anything that could possibly spoil anything. All I'm going to say is it is obvious that all of the second stringers of the Marvel Universe, the Florence Pughs, the David Harbors, all of those amazing characters, they are shining stars, and seeing them all put in one place is perfect. It is excellent, but it's also just a fucking good movie.
Very
Hell yeah.
keen.
All right.
Very
Yeah.
keen all of a sudden to give it a watch. We'll get around it. We'll get around it.
I think it was always on my list more than Captain America because of the cast that they had. But yeah, what I've heard in the last couple of months leading up to it, and now the reviews starting to drop, I'm actually quite impressed by it.
The big thing I'll share, just as a formula that I like, is that I only ever watch the very first trailer for anything, any movie, any Marvel thing, anything. I'll watch the first trailer because it's often described as the teaser trailer, and usually it does its job well. It'll sort of go, hey, here's some stuff that you probably will expect in the movie. It gives you an idea of what to expect. But then the next trailers are always like, and here's the big cool moment that would have been awesome in cinemas. And then they have another movie. It's like, and here's the excellent thing that is effectively the entire climax. And then it's like, good job justifying your $25 ticket now, fucko, because you already know everything. And then when I see the movie, I come and I watch those trailers. I'm actually shocked by... I don't know whether it was just an artistic choice or whether Marvel's actually realizing that maybe making a good trailer will help convince people to see movies. The later trailers for Thunderbolts actually don't fuck up the movie. It's like...
You love to see
Well, like
it.
the last trailer that came out like 6 days ago or something it's just a really nice piece of media. Like, it's a good trailer, not in the sense that it hypes me up or anything. It's just a nice bit of media that's well edited, has beautiful music, and it's got restraint. And I'm like, that's cool. That's nice. Thank you. More of this, please.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Less fucking Red Hulk day one. Yep, this is what the movie's about. Come see it, idiots, nerds. Turn up, see Harrison Ford turn big, red, and naked, you losers.
Naked.
Mostly. Almost.
Well,
Kind
It's
of.
not the pants.
Sort of.
Yeah.
whole lot of fucking moment then.
Just wearing a hat and a condom.
The gentleman's choice.
Red
Kieran,
Hulk has
Mark,
any problems?
I forgot we were recording for a second there.
Anyway, that was the WellPlayed DLC podcast.
Hey.
Let's never speak of this ever again.
We're not putting this out, right? We're deleting
No,
this, aren't we?
no. Before I get Jordan to censor half of this fucking podcast now, KV, thank you. Have either of you wonderful gentlemen seen, read, listened to anything in the last couple of weeks of note?
I've just been playing I've had so much to play. I
Have
haven't
you
had
any
time to
game
do
in
anything else.
particular, Mark, that you wanted to shout out? Is there any singular game that you've been playing a lot of?
Any fresh ones?
Look, I'll probably talk about it in greater depth next podcast. But
Ah.
I will say the review will drop this week for Tempopo, which
Oh.
is mwah. It is a very, very good puzzle game by an Aussie studio, Witchbeam. Love it. But I'll talk more about that next week, as I'll also next week, hopefully anyway, we'll talk about Skin Deep. So keep an eye out for that one next
Ooh,
week.
that's
I'm playing that
exciting.
at the moment. Review will probably be next week. But that
Hell
is
yeah.
also right now really, really good. So yeah, I'll be back, hopefully, to talk about that.
Love to see it. Well, in the interim, what I'd love everyone to do is head over to well-played.com.au to read Ash's review,
Ashisha?
Mark's
Ashisha?
review, my preview, all of the other wonderful content that is on the website. And until then, have a wonderful time. Just have a good time. Have a good time. Between listening to this, reading our content, just have a good time.
Just keep being you. No one does it
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
you know?
And
don't
find a
get
good plumber. It makes all the difference.
You're
Get
doing
your
well.
wet in order.
Jesus
shit.
Christ. All right. Have a wonderful time. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Get your bum checked. All right.